Hi guys and welcome back to Model Sicario Gaming, and we're back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. So, I was recently at the locals with my Despia deck. I have it all updated, the new support from the structure decks in it, and I'm pleasantly surprised about it. I did think it was going to be good. I wasn't going to think it was going to be bad or anything like that, but I'm surprised at how well it did play. Its resource game is very, 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 very strong. Most of the games I kind of just grinded out. There was very little times where I just OTK'd anyone, so there was 5 rounds. I went up against Flowundereeze, 2-1 win. Hard enough. I was stupid enough in game one not to put my monsters in defense mode, and he summoned that stupid penguin, and I was just that was game from there. Other 2 games, easy enough. Got the wins. Hand trapped him to death, and then just kind of went for game. Dino 2-0 was easy enough. The mirror match, game 2-1, very, very tight up until the last game where just Branded and Red just kind of came in clutch and just helped me just gain a bit more resources than he did. So got me the win there. Hero 2-0, Striker 2-0. So we're going to get straight into the deck profile, but I want to actually say something first. So I decided to go with a pure build. The reason I went for a pure build is because I obviously can't afford the Brave package right now. And I wasn't a great fan of DP whenever I was testing it out. So hear me out. DP is kind of a win more card in this deck. With the board you have and the resource you have, you don't particularly need it. Obviously, I do think it's one of the best cards, if not the best card in the format. It's just in this deck, I don't really want to play 2 more bricks to kind of play a win more card. The deck that I build basically just revolves around either getting to Albaz, who gets to your Brand of Fusion, or just hand traps. So we're going to get into it. We've got 3 Aluber, and I'm very happy I got these way, way last year. So, anybody that doesn't know, this card searches all your branded spells and traps, so get you into your Branded Fusion. That's kind of the main thing you go for. If you have your Branded Fusion already, you search Branded and Red. If you already have those 2 cards, you search the Branded Opening. If you, for some reason, have all them other cards, just search Theater. So, its second effect also came up a few times in the mirror match where if it leaves the field or if it's destroyed by battle or card effects while it's in the grave, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls and then just special summon it and then negate that monster. It was kind of annoying against the dinosaur matchup because he always just seemed to have that token on my field, so I couldn't target. But yeah, best normal summon in the deck. I don't understand how people who run the Brave engine just go without it. Next up, 2 Despia Tragedy. Can't wait to get the Ultra version of this. Hate running the common. Tragedy's a very good card. It was kind of glued to my hand with Branded Opening during this tournament. So, yeah, if you get this in Branded Opening, you're kind of setting yourself up really well because then you can add the ad libitum of Despia and you can search the Aluber as well. So, yeah, its second effect's actually pretty good as well if you don't banish it off your Albion fuse if you're going to go into Albion or your Branded and Red fuse. So you can banish it from the grave, and then you can get a Despia spell or trap, and then just set it to your field. So yeah, it comes up pretty good, searching your Branded Fusion back from the grave again. So we've got ad libitum. I kind of want to bump this up to 2. There was a few times, especially in the striker games, I won them 2-0, but there were long games, and if I had another one of these, I could have been able to bring back a Chimera with Polymerization in the grave, so it couldn't be targeted, which is big against Sky Striker. Can't get Widow anchored. It came up a lot. I took out Dramaturge because it didn't kind of actually add any value for me. I used to run it before the fusion spells came out, or the fusion spell came out. So just to go into an XYZ and then go into Zeus after, but didn't have a use after that. I would try and find room to bump this up to 2, but also I'm currently running the 42 card deck. So I can't really justify putting another one in right now without taking something else, and it's pretty tight. 2 Fallen of Albaz. This is just pretty standard. You could possibly get away with one. I really wouldn't want to risk it, just in case you can't get the Albaz back. Usually you'll be able to shuffle it back into the deck with the Lubellion, but no, I wouldn't risk running the 1. 2 was fine with me. I never really came into any problems running 2, so I think I'm going to continue with 2 for the rest of the foreseeable future. Next up, that's all the Despia cards and Albaz cards. So we got the Light Hex Seal Fusion. I didn't run this at first people run this because of Dragoon, but I don't run Dragoon. This deck discards a lot. Dragoon, yes, it's a good boss monster even without the discard and negate, but I just don't really like going into it. I kind of prefer using this if I have, spoiler alert, I run Patchwork. So if I have Patchwork and Aluber, there's a combo that lets you get the Mirrorjade and the Dracos Depalia on field. So what you do is you send this to the grave with the Fallen of Albaz to go into Albion. Albion banishes this and the Fallen of Albaz and lets you go into the Balion. You keep going from there. You'll have Polymerization and an Edge Imp in your hand, so you fuse away the Albion and the Edge Imp into the Dracos Depalia, and then Edge Imp will add the Patchwork again for the next turn. So, and then Albion's fact will trigger in the grave in the end phase also, so you can set a Branded in red. So that's basically the reason I run this. 2 chain, self-explanatory. 3's too much, 1's not enough. It actually comes up sometimes because there's a lot of discarding in this deck where I'll discard this to activate, I don't know, say a Branded, I don't know, Lubalion, I don't know, activate something. And then I can just search Patchwork with this. So it does come up in the discard part as well, but yeah, standard, it's just part of the Fryfire engine. Onto the hand traps, we've got 3 Ice, 3 Gamma with the driver, 2 Ogre, 2 Veiler. So this is my lineup. I kind of wish I had Imperm sometimes, because yes, again, spoiler alert again, I run Crossout Designator. So there was a few times, especially against the Dino deck, the 2 games that I did play him, he Impermed my Albert twice, and I couldn't. There was one time I had Crossout and I couldn't even use it because I don't run the Imperm. I could maybe think of dropping an Ice Blossom down just to put an Imperm in, but I'm really liking Ice Blossom, especially in the mirror match. I don't think he resolved Branded. Well, he did resolve Branded Fusion, but there were so many times I just negated it just off the ice. So I wasn't liking Ice Blossom in this format until now, so I'm kind of keeping it here. Cyframe Gamma is good because it's a hand trap during your opponent's turn, but during your turn, if you activate Brand of Fusion and they try to Ice Blossom you, you can Gamma that as well. And then, especially, what's good is you have Patchwork as well. It's Polymerization targets, I guess. Ogre is there just simply for Brave. I didn't come up against it, but it does come up sometimes. Then, and against Dino, it would help me get rid of the Lost World. Fact Failure, just, yeah, very good card this format. I'm going to continue to run it. I like the card. So that's the monster lineup. So we're going to go into the spells now. So we've got triple Branded Fusion. You do not run less of this. Just 3's the standard. The card is just such a good card. Not just being able to summon. It's just being able to get out your Mirrorjade after you get your Rebellion out, obviously. But it's just too good. Like, you're setting resources to the grave as well. So you could run, I don't know, like I would send Tragedy. Tragedy will search Ad Libitum, and then at the end phase I'll have Branded in red set, so I have Ad Libitum in hand, Tragedy's in grave, and then the Mirrorjade on the field, so that's usually the combo where I'll play Branded in red, add the Tragedy, fuse with the Tragedy, the Ad Libitum, and the Mirrorjade to summon Chimera. Chimera's effect will activate, I'll draw 2, pop 1, and then Ad Libitum and Tragedy will resolve, and Tragedy will search Aliber, and Ad Libitum will bring back the Mirrorjade, so it's just such a good card. Everybody should just enjoy it while it's here at 3. Enjoy it while it lasts. Branded opening, just I always said during this tournament that I was playing, if any other archetype that's kind of half decent had a card like this, it would probably be banned. It's just such a good card. If they're going to hit Despia in any way to give it a little bit of a scolding telling off, they're gonna hit this, I think, probably down to 1 or 2. It's just such a good consistency card, being able to just not only discard a card that get effects such as Tragedy, the Edge Imp Chain, you can also banish it from grave to negate the destruction of a fusion monster as well, which comes up a lot. Some people kind of forget about it, and I can't blame. There's a lot of effects that happen, like some people forget about Aliber's effect, some people forget about this, some people forget about Despia, the Despia Fader's effect, so there's a lot of effects going on, but the more you play the deck, the more you get used to it, and I would really, really just, more than anything, just preach people, like, this deck is just so, so good. Sky Striker's always been a resource deck, and the fact that I was able to out-resource them twice easily is just, it just shows you how good this deck is. 2 Branded in red. Sometimes I wanted 3, but I can't really justify playing 3. Sometimes you do want to see it in your hand, kind of, when you have the Albaz, but you can kind of get it at your end phase anyway, set with the Albion. So I think 2's perfect. It's just sometimes in a really grindy game, you kind of want the 3. What kind of helped me was having 2 Polymerization and the, again, spoiler, and the Despia Theater, just to be able to fusion someone a bit more, because Branded in red wasn't live anymore. But even another good thing about Branded in red is it's just a Warrior Returning Alive for the archetype as well. So you don't technically need to fusion someone. You can just activate it to grab your Albaz back if you really want to. So very good card. Just one of them cards you just kind of run 2 of. Can't really justify running 3 right now. Theater's basically Polymerization on legs. It's very rarely came up, but you kind of need to run one of it. Also, it's just a Polymerization. Like I said, sometimes it comes up when your Branded in reds just aren't live anymore. So yeah, and like sometimes the other effect does come up. So if it face up non-furry monster leaves the field by opponent's card effect, destroy by battle, you target a level 8 or higher fusion in your grave and you can summon it. So being able to get your Mirror Jade back if you need it back, Dracos Tapalia back, Cordus, just the likes of them if you really need them back, it's just good. Some people don't read it and don't realize that it has that effect, and it kind of does them in. So that's just the one of 3 patchwork. Some people are kind of hemming and hawing about this. I personally like it because of the amount of discards I get, and sometimes you don't have your plays for to get Branded Fusion to your hand. So sometimes if you have Patchwork and the Tragedy, normally that wouldn't be good, but because you can add Edge Imp and the Polymerization, you can fuse them. Tragedy will search Albaz, then you can do your plays then. So I personally will keep running it. I like it, but I could see why. So like sometimes you'll have the Polymerization and the Edge Imp in your hand, but not actually have anything to do with it. But it's still a discard, so that's kind of one thing I've seen that came up a lot, is I need cards in my hand to discard, so it kind of just does that at its bare minimum. Like 2 Polymerization, standard, they're just there for the searches, come up sometimes, help you get into Dracos Tapalia, help you just hard fuse when you kind of need to. Not going to go into it too much more. Don't run 3, don't run 1. 3 Crossout. So I wasn't going to run this initially. I had Imperm in and a 3rd Tragedy, I think it was, with 40 or 41 cards, and then I took them out and put these 3 in. I'm so glad I did see the amount of times someone would Ice Blossom, Imperm, Fact Failure, Gamma, and I was just able to say, Crossout, gotcha. Very good card. I really do like it. I'm going to keep running it for this foreseeable future, along with Call by the Grave. Just this deck, it's not particularly... It is fragile to an extent, but it depends on your hand. There's a lot of other cards you can have that can kind of keep going. Like, you could have Albaz and Branded Fusion. You summon the Albaz, they could hit it, but you have Branded Fusion. So, or they could hit your Branded Opening, and you could have the Albaz, or a way to get into the Albaz. So, I like it. Provides some extra protection, and I have space for it at the minute, so why not? Gold Sark and Foolish. These are here just for Tragedy. Like I said, I believe it's 11 or 12 ways to get into Branded Fusion. So we've got 3 Branded Fusion, 3 Albaz, Gold Sark, Foolish, and then the 3 Branded Fusion. I think that's 11. So that's all they're simply here for. They're basically 1 card Albaz. I'll keep running them. Maybe drop Gold Sark if I need it, but I like having it there. So that's the main deck. We're going to quickly just go through the extra deck here. 2 Mirror Jade and 2 Lebellion. So 2 Mirror Jade does come up when one of them is completely banished and you can't get it back. So I do like having the 2. It came up a few times having the 2. Obviously you can't summon the 2, you can only control 1. But Mirror Jade's just a stupid card. It's a soft once per turn as well, so being able to use it during your opponent's turn, brand it and read it away for Chimera, get it back again with the Ab Libitum, and then it be live again. It's just so goddamn strong. I could possibly drop Lubelli on the one because it usually shuffles itself back in, but then you do risk your opponent negating and banishing it or something, and just or call by the grave in it after, and you're stuck with no Lubelli on. So I had a bit of extra deck space since I took DP out, so I put the second one in. So I'm happy enough with that lineup. 3 Albion. I wouldn't run 3 normally. I had an extra deck space left, and I put it in. It actually came up in Sky Striker when I had already... I summoned one, used Mirror's Edge effect to get rid of one, and then I was able to summon or use Mirror's Edge effect again to send it again. So it did come up once, so I'm not disappointed that I run 3. If I need another extra deck space at some point, it will be the first card to come out, but 3 it was for me in this tournament. I didn't really mind it too much. 2 Quarters. Again, I don't think I need 2 of this. 1 would be okay. I think I only summoned it twice, I believe. Once against Dino, and I think it was Hero I summoned it against. Yeah, I think... No, I don't know. I can't remember. I'll say it was Hero. Why not? Quarters is just good, just to be able to just nuke all your opponent's monsters to 0. And also... being able to add your hand or special summon a Fallen Albaz or Despia monster when it's destroyed. So it comes up sometimes in that way as well. Helps you get your Albert and set you up again for the next turn. Again, if I need more space, I'll probably drop 1 down. Masquerade. I was considering taking a Quartus out for a 3rd one of these, but it didn't come up. I actually beat the Flowundereeze deck by getting... I just got 2 of these out. I knew the player played Flowundereeze, and I just knew 2 of these game. Had all my combos to do my all the plays to do my normal combo, and I still just summoned 2 of these and said, go ahead, pay 1,200 per effect. Guy just scooped. First game, was like, not dealing with that. Second game, got them out again. Got rid of his, I got rid of his board, was left with not too much. He couldn't do anything in his turn, then got back to my turn again, and a top deck patchwork which helped me get the 2 of these out. So possibly run 3, but it's just very hard to get 3 on board with my particular build. Brigand never came up. It was basically just there just in case I needed to summon the Fallen of Albaz and Emphase and fuse with a board, but yeah, I will probably drop out if I needed to. Proscanion didn't come up, but I do like it. It was mainly there for the Sword Soul matchup, just in case my opponent had a Baron, or if any player I came up against had a DP to be able to summon it. It's not easy to summon in this deck, but it's easier with the hand traps because I have the Gamma, the Driver, the Effect Failure, the Ogre, so we'll have targets for it. Yeah, if you can get it on board, it's good. It's just the 3 materials are a bit of a nuisance sometimes. Dracos Tapalia, yeah, happy enough with this card as well. Put in a lot of good work. Like I said earlier, the only bad thing about it was whenever I played against Dino and they had Lost World and kept giving me the token so I couldn't target. So it was kind of frustrating, but being able to get this on board with the Mirror Jade, with the branded and red set, is just absolutely insane. It's one of the reasons I really do like the Patchwork engine. So, yeah, definitely want to keep this in. Chimera, I did want to see 2 at some points. A lot of points I wanted to see 2. Like I said, being able to fuse during your opponent's turn with a Mirror Jade, a Tragedy, and a Ad Libitum is just absolutely crazy. And then because I run the Frightfire engine, having a Polymerization engrave, the amount of times my opponent, especially in the hero matchup, he had 2 Veilers and an Imperm in his opening hand whenever I went first. Got the Chimera out. He used an effect. Yeah, he used an effect failure on my my Albert Search. At the end of the turn, or whenever I got this out, he was going to imperm me, and I said, "Can't imperm me, sorry, bro. Can't target this with card effects." So, yeah, it's basically a 3,300 attack Pot of Greed / destroy 1 monster. So, I'll definitely, when I have the money to get the second one, or if I can trade the second one off somebody, I will definitely run a second one of this. So, that's it for the deck profile. Stupidly enough, and I'm sure people go at me for this. I didn't use a side deck. I don't really like using side decks in locals anymore. I don't take it as seriously. I just kind of go, play, if I lose, fair enough. Because the amount of times I brought a side deck down and just didn't use it was just, it became just too much of a nuisance. I just didn't bring it at that point. But yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I'm really interested in any help. So if anybody wants to put any suggestions in the comment section, I'll really, really appreciate it. If you can back it up, I'll challenge you in the comments if I don't agree, but I want to get people's justification behind why they would run certain cards, or if they would take certain cards out. So, yeah, it's just a rough build, very early days. Appreciate any help with it. Guys, if you're liking the videos, please, please, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. We've got our new series coming out very soon. All the testing's been done for it. It works fine. We're going to video it soon. The 5-minute fights. It's been coming for a long time. I'm very, very excited for it. Just need to give me a day or two more and we'll get it all sorted and recorded and get it all sent out there. So, guys, hope you enjoyed. This is Modest Lucario Gaming signing off. Goodbye.